Hello, peoples. So, I'm going to be talking about the Broadway Melody, of course, because you can see in the title of the video, that's why you clicked on it. Now, it's an interesting film, very interesting. It's about this guy, um, is and these two girls on Broadway, I essentially a musical, but a movie, though. That's the entire idea. Now, let's talk about some of the bad stuff first, 'cause there's a lot of it, okay? One of the main problems with the movie is that the plot doesn't make any sense, and is also really terrible. Now, when I review these movies, I kind of have the assumption that you've either already seen them or have heard of them and know kind of the basic plot. And I think it would be boring if I explained it to you, so I'm not going to do that. But kind of there's it's difficult. It's difficult. That's what I'm saying. Now, there are issues. The plot is crazy. It's convoluted, and usually I imagine I'm able to describe the plot of a movie in a sentence, but with this, it won't work really. In like a paragraph at least. And aside from things like Inception, it's not really good if it's just overly complicated. Even I didn't like Inception, but that was the point of the movie. But in this movie, it's just doesn't make any sense. It's meant to be. It's meant to be a musical you would see, like a Broadway type musical. Or that's the style of the movie. And I get the idea that the entire point of this movie was essentially just to show off that they have sound. That's now a new invention, right? Now, there was some Technicolor sequences that are lost now, so I can't see them, but I would talk to you about them if I did see them. But anyway, one of the major things that makes this movie hard to watch now, that I can't really, I guess, blame on it for it then, because this is just kind of what the 20s was like. But there are lots of things that I would consider really creepy in this movie. One of these characters, Queenie, who's kind of who's one of the main characters, wants to go off and hang out with this guy who seems fine up until we learn that he's a rapist, right? Well, he's not a rapist yet, but he's trying to rape Queenie, right? So he seems fine, and then a ton of the movie is just them trying to convince her that it's not, that they shouldn't do that. That she shouldn't go out with him. And they, at some points, try to stop her from going, physically restrain her, which is something that is so bad, because it's her life. She can do whatever she wants. Of course, that's just not really a problem, because it's crazy, but this film was released, just 8 or 9 years after the women had the right to vote. That's crazy. So this is besides the idea, at least. But, okay. the plot is terrible, and the acting, like, there's so much. Like, this entire love story is just so annoying to me. It's just not a very enjoyable film. There are some good things. The acting is, like, pretty okay for the time, aside from Queenie, who's absolutely terrible. There are a couple sequences that were pretty subtle and I actually enjoyed. Like, I actually felt really invested. Like, there was this one scene where the rapist guy and Queenie, but we don't know he's a rapist yet. He just seems like a fine, nice guy, right? And, him and Queenie are, like, going on a date at, like, this place, and that entire scene was, like, really, really good and really well done. Especially, you know, the music is actually really good. I find it, me being, like, I find the music really catchy. But honestly, if you just wanted good music, you should have just made a soundtrack to the film. You didn't make this a movie, right? It's it's not it's not very good in my opinion. So, I give it a 4 out of 10.